Hello everybody, this is Joel, aka Bourbon Dingo, and welcome to episode 28 of my second series on Let's Play Crusader Kings 2. Alright, during the last episode, we started helping a crusade in Andalusia, and that's currently what we're doing right now. There hasn't been a lot of change in what's going on, so no real reason to go back over everything. But what we are going to do is try to finish this up. I didn't realize my king was 71 years old right now, so he doesn't have too much longer. But we're going to get the clock started again. And like normal, what I'm going to do is, since we're in war, actually, apparently the Crusade is over. Interesting. We are now the king of Andalusia as well. The Second Catholic Crusade for Andalusia has ended. And we have been granted Andalusia right here. Which is very interesting. I'm not sure what exactly I'm going to do with it. I guess we'll try and make sure it stays ours. What I'm actually going to do for you guys is, instead of spending all of my time handing all of these areas off, I'm going to take a short break, and after I'm done, we'll start the episode back up again. Alright, we finally got that stuff taken care of. We are going to be dropping down our speed a little bit, and as you can see, they're all setting their own laws and things of that nature. Go ahead and clear all of these out. Getting tons of these notifications. Alright, and one thing I did notice while we were doing this, I have an unmarried heir, and I thought that he was not nearly old enough. Yeah, he is not nearly old enough. But we have a different heir. I'm not sure exactly how that happens. Well, okay. He's Welsh, at least. He's not really that good. But I suppose I'll take what I can get here. Alright, let's go ahead and see if I can't invite him to my court. And he'll come. That way we can assure that he's with us. Alright, we have a traveling poet who calls himself a bard arrive today. We can have everybody dislike us a little bit but gain a little bonus. We can see how Count Edwin feels about us, but we're just going to say he can stay as long as he likes. Alright, and our heir has come to our court, and he appreciates that we let him come in. Alright, let's go ahead and arrange his marriage. Since he isn't that impressive, go ahead and make sure we find him a very nice wife. We're going to do that through the Find Character tab. Search all. We're going to go to Women. Not in prison. Not married. Not a ruler, because we want to keep them in our courts. Of my religion. I'm not going to worry about of my culture currently. And right there looks very nice. This, possibly even more so. Lower of that, but much higher, just standard stats. Quick glance down shows only one more person of around that heir, but she's not going to have children anytime soon. So let's go ahead and ask the genius to come and marry our child. Okay. Well, we do lose a little bit of prestige from it, but since it's an heir, it shouldn't be much. Alright, and they have gotten married. And we're going to go ahead, instead of asking for money for it, we're going to ask for prestige. Oh, and since we were doing that down here, I purchased, created the title of Cordoba, and I want to say one other place. I can't remember exactly where. Right now, we're getting close to being able to usurp this area once this war is over. And there's also the emirate here, I think, somewhere that we can usurp. It's not this sultanate, it's an emirate, but I believe it's this one. And come look at the two that we can usurp. Yeah, it's the emirate of Badajoz. Oh, that's right. We were also going to attempt to imprison Duke Niall of Connaught because he is attempting to fabricate a claim on Cardiff. So what we need to do for that is move our... In fact, we're going to move our marshal into... Oh, we moved him into the wrong spot. Alright, well, you're safe from being arrested for a while. We have a lot of little internal fighting going on here, and I'm not sure exactly why. We have somebody who's trying to install Neil. Okay, and we passed away, which means King Neil is actually won, and we have quite a few vassals prepping for revolt. So we need to be happy we decided not to spend any of that money. And apparently, I had a claim on the Holy Roman Empire, which is interesting. I did not notice that. But alright, we have now gotten King Neil of Wales. He wanted to become marshal, though I suppose that'll change here shortly. But alright, King Sinfin actually died being known as the Great, so that's good. Let's go ahead and pause real fast. I have plenty of domain size. I don't think I gained any more area, with the exception of what I actually inherited into it. Let's take a look at my council, make sure it's filled with everybody it needs to be, and the council's actually fairly good. We are going to replace Duke Niall of Connaught. And we're going to send him into here to suppress revolts, but that's mostly so that we can imprison him. We have that chance. And he's now in jail. We have Count Aenmere here of Strathern, who's considering a revolt. Taking a look at the factions, we have a rather large faction building up here in Goodwick. Might see if I can't assassinate him, because his child, at least, even if his child dislikes us, might like us more than his father. He is a better ruler. I think I may just have to ride out and see who... Alright, one of the things I may want to consider here... Go ahead and pause real fast. all of my brothers are apparently deciding to join down here. What I may consider doing is, now that they're down here, go ahead and grant them independence. I mean, I'm not going to be able to help them, especially not with so much trouble happening up here. At the barest minimum, I can grant... I can find him real fast. I can grant Prince Ifer, my uncle, this area down here. And anybody in this area won't be very powerful for quite a while. And likely they may end up getting taken over again. But I would rather lose this area and not have to deal with revolts up here than otherwise. So I think what I'm going to do is actually do exactly that. See, he's only going to get this one little area, and so I'm not sure I like that. I'm heavily considering, flat out, everybody that just went into his court, we are going to immediately turn around and grant him his independence. So all of my brothers who went into his court are now in the court of an independent group. And we'll consider keeping this area for a bit, though I'm not sure. We're going to pause real fast because we do have the option of usurping the Emirate of Badajoz. We have another person considering independence. I'm heavily considering just allowing everyone here their independence. But I am going to actually usurp Badajoz. Which means that I can now turn one of these into the Duke here. Let's find out who likes me the most, or dislikes me the least, as it seems is going to be the big thing here. And we'll do this right here. We're going to go ahead and grant that duchy out there. Alright, he's tempting himself to go and become independent. And I'm really tempted to right now grant everyone here their independence just to not have to deal with it. And in fact, I think that might be exactly what I do. Well, possibly. I'm considering... I wonder if I can... No, because they're the same rank, which means that's not going to work. Somehow I gain the ability to make a... And I know we ran into a problem here. I've granted both of them their independence, and now I'm landlocked. But I still think it's a better option than dealing with the inevitable fight up here. Let's pause real fast, because I'm going to go ahead and send and start attempting to fabricate those claims with Norway. Let's take a look at our factions. Pause real fast. Make sure nothing's jumping up massively. Really like to... Alright, Prince I4 has inherited Calatrava. Prince I4 owns both of those now. But I'd really like to attempt to... England has a holding down here again. Find something to do with him. A low plot power. Count Edwin of Ossory has been imprisoned by the Duke of the Isles, which is still controlled over here by this guy. And now he controls more area within that. Alright, we have somebody here who's attempting to kill Duke Gilbert of Lothian. I think I'll get him to stop. Alright, and we can usurp this title here once this war is over. I'm not sure how long that's going to take, though. The only claims we currently have are, alright, and Duke Tudwall of Hereford wants us to release Duke Arthfail of Moray, and I may not have too much of a problem with that. Let's go ahead and release him. Alright, and here was the problem. Duke Gilbert of Lothian has declared war. Controls all of these areas around here, and I'm severely worried about other people joining his side. What I'm actually going to do here, and I wish there was a way to select areas without having to completely select areas, you know. Just going to try and handle this with as few people as possible. I guess I'll swing down here real fast and pull up some troops. Finish off this battle. I believe I may have hurt myself by forgetting to assign any troops here. Let's go ahead and we won't assign ourselves. I am going to send them in chase here. Alright, pause real fast. Because I'm going to pull up the troops from here as well and send them down into there. And we're going to set leaders of this one. You can see we still have some various factions popping up here and there, and it's not working for us altogether in the end. Alright, I don't understand that. I'm actually in the area as this guy's running away. Alright, we're going to flatter and soothe our mayor here so that we don't have to drop taxes. And I assume our soldiers are about to lose this battle, but it'll give us time to get our large group here a bit faster. Alright, I have been captured, and I'm not sure exactly how, because I don't think I set myself in combat with anyone. Which is interesting. They're allowing me a chance to ransom myself, and I'll go ahead and take that. I'm not real sure how I ended up being in combat. I thought I'd been doing pretty good about stopping that. Alright, we're gonna pause real fast and take a look. Alright, we are winning this combat, if only just barely. But apparently we have just lost. See, that I'm very concerned about. I'm not sure how we just lost that battle. Let's go ahead and band them together real fast. And I guess in this instance, what I'm going to do is just pull up my own troops. And after we get them all in place, I'll send them into Dorset and take them down, and then we'll start taking over their areas. That's likely enough there. Alright, and that battle went a lot more in our direction. We can call in allies, though he appreciates us a lot less than I would like. Pause real fast. We've had a marriage asked for. She's actually a fairly good candidate for marriage, and she's Welsh. I believe I'm going to decline, because I am going to use her for one of my own marriages. I don't have anyone that I can matrilineally marry her to. But we're going to hold on to her. Alright, and apparently I'm in combat. Oh, I pulled up my own troops. That's why I'm in combat. So I can choose one of these options. We're going to choose Heavy Infantry Leader. I'm certain that the largest portion of the troops that we currently have under our command are heavy infantry. Alright, we've had a Duke become excommunicated. This is a Duke that actually likes us, so we're gonna see if he'll... and he won't. Ah! I have forgotten to do some other stuff. Let's go ahead and start sending our chaplain down here to start converting this populace. And while we're waiting on these areas down here to be taken, I'm going to move in a smaller force into their actual main area. We just had a temple finishing Cordoba. I'm assuming that there was a temple being built. There was. That's interesting. Alright, I can do that, or I can see if there's somebody annoying in my succession line here. No, he has no problem with us, realistically. Very tempted to hold on to this, just on the off chance. Alright, he's a good leader. He's a very good leader. I would have much rather had him. It's interesting. I'm not real sure what to do about that. Alright, we found out someone's a homosexual, so we're going to go ahead and spread rumors about him. I'll hold on to this wrong holding type for now. About 12 ships down here moving around. I'm not sure exactly where he's going with his 72 soldiers, but we'll let that play out as it's playing out. Allies still won't allow getting called in. Still can't usurp that. We've had our first child born. Or, I'm sorry. My wife is pregnant with our first child. Alright, and we're starting to convert some of the people within Toledo here to Catholicism. Alright, there's been a jihad called for Persia. It's interesting. Ah, the Golden Horde has come. We missed that one. The Golden Horde has gotten areas all the way up to basically right there. That's kind of interesting. Alright, if this was the very good wife that we weren't willing to hand off, and I'm going to go ahead and go to her chamber. Alright, we've had some more subjects. Alright. We've fallen in love with one another. One of my aunts is being asked to marry the Despot of Georgia. We're going to go ahead and allow it. It's interesting, Ruthenia is actually putting up a decent fight because they've taken some area back away from the Golden Horde. That was what I was interested in seeing, really, was how much of a fight both the Byzantine Empire and Ruthenia, with as large as it was, were going to put up against the Golden Horde. But alright, swinging back down here, you can see that we're at about a 25% war score. And all we're waiting on currently is... Okay, we just had a daughter born, which means we have a female heir first, which is never great. Not that I have a problem with the female heir, it's more that my vassals will like me less while I have a female heir. Alright, taking a quick glance down here, we can see that, basically, wanting to become independent of us caused them some problems. And alright, I'm thinking we may be very close to them, surrendering here soon. Okay, I can select an ambition. What I'm going to do is try to increase my intrigue. Okay, we've had a victory at the Siege of Exeter. Should have another victory popping up here real fast. Yep, right there. About 43%. I was expecting maybe a little bit more, but that's fine. See if he's ready to offer peace. He is. We can enforce the demands. Let's pause real fast. Yeah, he's just popped up here. We're going to do that. And in fact, we're going to turn immediately around and revoke his title from him. And taking a look down here, we have the Earl Alexander of Devon. I'm going to see if I can't transfer that vassalage over to him. And I can, and then I'll put that back under his control. We are currently the Duke of Lothian, which means all of these are part of our Grodbert of Gloucester. Apparently, not only does he control that, but he controls that now as well. Let's find one of the rulers here that actually likes us a little bit. We're going to grant him the Duchy of Lothian. And he likes us a lot more now, so there'll be a little bit less problem in the future there. We're going to pull that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pump the speed back up to 4. We're going to finish out this year, and then I'm going to call it quits for this episode. Alright, we have King Sinfin of Albany, I'm sorry, Duke Sinfin of Albany once again is thinking about rebelling. Alright, we have had a son born of the Murdoch dynasty with Ceres Furciago here. And I'm about to make my wife likely hate me. No, he wasn't a genius. If he had been a genius, I would have turned around and put him in line for succession. We're going to go ahead and acknowledge him as mine. He'll be of my dynasty, but he won't be allowed to succeed. Alright, my wife dislikes me for it. But that doesn't put him in line for succession. Alright, and the majority of faith has been transferred over to the Catholic faith. Let's pause real fast while we're letting the time go through. I'm actually going to hold a grand tournament. We have quite a bit of money. I'm going to spend some of that before I let you guys go. Pop over to faith, and we're going to move him down to work in Calatrava. Start the clock back up again, and while we're doing that, I'm going to go ahead and actually look and see. We got some more gold. That's good. Let's see if I have anything that hasn't been built yet. And all my areas have been completely expanded. Alright, and the grand tournament has started. What I'm going to do is start building up some of the more expensive areas here. Once again, we still haven't gotten enough technology in this area. But we're going to get something built everywhere. Alright, we got something started everywhere, which is good. I don't have anyone... An important guest arrived today, and when this was most insulted when I struck with tug tightness, was unable to greet him. So I'm shy. Alright, one of my guests, the Chancellor of Leinster, was maimed during the tournament. That's most unfortunate. Melee was going well when the mace came crashing down and I became maimed. That's not good. Alright, so one of my kinsmen won it. Second place. And third place. Go ahead and give this a quick pause. I'm maimed. That's not good. But I'm going to go ahead and try to give away this bishopric And the tournament is over and everybody likes us more for it. Dialing out, there's a excommunication war going on currently in Norway. We have just had a... Interestingly enough, there was a retinue in Badajoz. Alright, we got into the first of the year. I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go. Real fast, I want to take a look over here because it appears that they are in a war right now for the Marrakeshian Independence War. And they're attempting to claim Aragon again. But alright, I'm going to let you guys go. And we did fairly well today, putting down a revolt and finishing up some of the issues with a new king coming in. Unfortunately, our king became maimed during the tournament that we were holding. So we'll see how that turns out. But alright guys, I'm going to let you go, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.